In the long past, when the reign of King Yasa ruled the city of Dwaraj. In the country that he ruled, the people lived well, making a living smoothly, without interruption. Villagers therefore have plenty of time to relax. It's both fun and full of gambling. If you only have fun, you won't be satisfied. Must have a chance by betting to win a little. The cheering team was very excited. At Fa Sang village here there is a game that is strange and fun. That is a battle of bald heads. That is, the bald and oily people on both sides collided with each other, using their utmost strength. Either push or hit until the other person falls backwards. Because he couldn't fight hard, he fell backwards. That means it's a loser. The next person, who thought the head was durable enough to be hit, was able to queue up to compete. This bald-headed battle brings both wealth and fun, and is a delight for the villagers. Of course, for something like this, there must be a skilled expert. Or should we say more skilled people, who are hunters who challenge each other to compete in various places. Kun Dun, this is the nickname of the bald-headed fierce fighter who travels everywhere to compete. He was accompanied by a priest who was his mentor, taking care of him. He was known as Kun Dun, who had a head as hard as a stone. Wherever you go to compete, you win the bet money every time. Even though sometimes it was 2-1, Kun Dun won.
Hey, fell backwards. Is there anyone else who has a stubborn, tough head? Come in, let it be known that Yod Kun Dun is talented, not defeated by anyone.
In the end, none of the villagers in that area dared to challenge him for a bald head race. The monk who is your mentor has to take you around to find a new place to challenge you again. But there's nowhere else. It is only in the city of Dwaraj. Both of them thought that they had to go compete and find out.
Oh, I've already arrived. If you get more wealth here, we will probably have to stop spending all our money for several years. Go on, I want to know who can defeat me.
Then, he immediately left for the village in the big city. When he reached the desired village, he saw many villagers. Everyone is smiling and cheerful and diligent in their work. Some people raise cows. Some pound rice. Some carry baskets of vegetables to sell. The two of them smiled arrogantly, because this place was full of prosperity. Like this, there will be a lot of money. The two of them thought that they would stay in this village for a while. After earning a lot of gambling money, they would come back when they did.
I'm going to go out and announce a challenge for people to bet on. Shall we compete in a bald head race, priest?
Kun Dun asked his dear friend, asked for his opinion. The priest thought about it and said, I don't know whether the villagers here like to gamble or not. Because everyone is diligent and working all shifts.
Don't be too hasty, the village is prospering, but I don't know if they will play along. If he doesn't take it, then we'll just be upset. Therefore, I would like to think of a plan first.
The careful priest pondered. Kun Dun praised the monks for being wise and careful. It didn't take long for the priest to think of a good method.
Ha, I thought of it. This time, I will bet 4 baht of gold. Just this one time, let it be rich.
Who are you going to bet with? Who has that much money? If it weren't for the king of this city.
Kun Dun spoke only metaphorically, but the priest laughed, because he was going to challenge the king by having the king find a bald man to compete with him. Bet with the amount of gold 4 baht anyway, this is the king's wish. After all, no one dared to disobey orders. Then the two of them made announcements throughout the village, wanting to challenge the townspeople to a duel. Someone let the king be the manager to find it for you, to hit the bald head. If their side wins, they will ask for a bet reward of 1,000 pounds of gold. The king heard the news and couldn't sit still on his throne. He was very angry, like an enemy had come to attack the city.
Oh, those bald-headed bastards. This guy dared to be brave, to the point of challenging the landlord. Okay, I'll accept the challenge. 1,000 pounds of gold, it was a very small matter. But if they lose, I will kill them.
He said very angrily, looking at the soldiers. There was not a single bald soldier, so he had to look at the people of His Majesty's city, and ordered the soldiers.
Not a single soldier in this palace is bald. Then, go find some bald-headed, tough guys to fight with him. Also said, if whoever wins, I will have a lot of rewards, completely unexpected. Hurry up and take care of it.
The soldiers went out looking for the bald man in various villages in the city region. But no matter where I looked, I couldn't find a single person. They were very worried.
It's very strange, why are there so many hairy people in the city? Where are all the bald people?
Over there. There's one last village left at the edge of the forest that I haven't visited yet.
And indeed, there was one village left that the soldiers had not yet entered. But that news had already spread before. There is still a small and poor family here. Lived 3 lives, namely Grandfather Pui, Grandma Fang, and Chow Dok nephew. Named because of his thick black hair, handsome face, he received this news and came to tell his grandparents that
our king, he may lose this time. I saw that you couldn't find a bald person anywhere, and you must have lost 1,000 baht of gold.
He sat with his knees raised, fretting, then turned to Pui and said, let me try volunteering to compete.
Damn it, I'm not bald, besides I'm old, my strength isn't good, I'd rather you.
You're still young. Pui wanted Zhao Dok to compete more. Zhao Dok was a very smart person and he accepted that he would compete against the bald head. Chow Dok will compete. In order to save the country, Grandpa Pui asked, how can I compete without baldness? Chow Dok thought of a plan.
How difficult is it to go? If the head isn't bald, just make it bald. I will shave my head, cheat for the country, it's okay.
Grandfather was worried about Chow Dok, afraid that he would not be able to fight him. Because on that side he is a professional, I have won everywhere. Zhao Dok said, I have a backup plan. I'll win anyway, but for now please shave my head first. Before the soldiers saw that I had hair, Grandpa Pui and Grandma Fang were very happy that Chow Dok was a fighter and helped the country. Even though Grandpa Pui and Grandma Fang were not aware of Chow Dok's plans at all. After shaving his head completely bald, Chow Dok diligently trained his body and head to be strong. By running into several banana trees a day, until his banana plantation fell to pieces. In addition, he ran into many sandbags. Throughout the training, Ta Pui was always there to give water and encouragement. Grandpa Pui was a mentor and helped out. Kun Dun and his friend, the monk, also practiced, even if they have more experience. But I can't be complacent because of this competition. It was a challenge to the king. Therefore, the king had to find a good opponent to fight with as well. Kun Dun trained hard. He ran bald and collided with the villagers' cattle, killing several.
Haha, can you see the strength of my bald head? Until causing the death of cattle.
Kun Dun was so contented that his fellow monks had to bring him down. Then his priest took consecrated oil and applied it to his bald head, to make it strong. Even though this consecrated oil had a very bad smell, he had to be patient. Then came the day of the bald head-to-head competition. This competition was an official competition, because it is a competition between professionals and the king's people. City residents stopped work and all came to watch this competition. There are a lot of viewers. At the pre-ceremony competition this time, the king and his daughter came to watch. Grandpa Pui, Grandma Fang, Chow Diok went to pay respect to the king, and said he asked to volunteer to compete in a bald head-on collision to protect the country. Chow Diok promised to bring victory to the king. The king therefore gave him more encouragement.
I would like to thank you very much. Please do it for the country and myself for once, fight to the utmost, and I will give you a great reward. Good luck and victory.
The three grandparents and grandchildren respectfully accepted him. And then the two sides faced each other. Kun Dun was large in stature, and his body was that of a normal young man. Kun Dun saw that the skinny guy laughed.
Ha ha, who sent a young drug addict to fight with me? Prepare to lose.
Kun Dun rubbed his head. To intimidate his opponent, Prince Dok was not afraid at all. But Grandpa Pui was also afraid. Grandpa Pui asked his grandson, "If you have any plans, please tell me." Chow Dok nodded in response. The competition began. The fake bald dog slammed hard into Peng Kun Dun. As it turned out, Chow Dok bounced back, falling unsteadily. Grandpa Pui Fang had to support Chow Dok.
How are you doing? Are you okay? Don't give in yet. Do it for the country, for the king. Be patient.
Don't worry, I can fight easily. Tilt your ears closer to listen to the plan, then take this. Don't let them find out.
Pui took a small bundle of cloth, which the old man put in a handful, and he didn't know what it was. You walked behind the monks, who were cheering for the match, without paying any attention. Then he wrapped it in cloth and put it in the drinking water bottle of the Kundan faction. The bald fight continued intensely, taking turns attacking and taking turns defending. Kun Dun was still standing tall, but Chow Dok was beginning to lose his strength. His newly shaved fake bald head was completely red and bruised. He thought his plan might finally work. And then suddenly, Chow Kun Dun suddenly felt something unusual. He immediately had a stomachache. It gurgled, as if something was coming out, and began to become violent. The symptoms became agitated and agitated. The dog turned and winked, causing his eyes to droop.
You see, the laxative effect of the croton, which I gave you and put in the oil blister, is working.
It's fun this time. Don't wait for it to set up. Having said that, the dog crashed hard into Kun Dun's bulging belly. He lost his footing and fell backwards, struggling to get up. That hand held his stomach, his face distorted.
Oh, wait a minute, can I take a break? My stomach hurts a lot. Ooh, I'm leaving.
The rumbling in his stomach was already working to the max. What Kun Dun wanted right now was toilet. Toilet only. He stood up and turned away without shame. Chow Dok was able to charge and headbutt him until he almost fell on his head. Kun Dun didn't care anymore. He held his stomach and his butt and ran away. It made the priest, who was the chaperone, very upset and shocked. I couldn't imagine that something crazy like this would happen.
What the hell is wrong with you? You're all penniless right now. Is that why you fell out of boxing?
When all the villagers saw that Ta Pui and Chow Dok were the decisive winners, cheering loudly. The soldiers captured the priest who was Khun Dun's mentor and went to adjust the bets. The king smiled and clapped his hands happily, and was extremely delighted.
Very good, the best. You have won decisive victory, you have saved this country, so that I am not ashamed. I will not forget to give you the reward as I told you.
The king was disconcerted. He did not want much, because he was a poor and modest person, but when he heard what the king had to offer, he fell backwards.
I will give you the city, half of it to be ruled by you, and my daughter as a marriage partner. If you disobey orders, it will be considered disobedience to the king's orders.
His heart almost pounded out of his chest, even though he didn't want it at all, but he had to accept it because he said this. Then he turned to look at his daughter, and she was very beautiful. Now the daughter was dissatisfied with the king, who was about to marry her off to a bald man.
No, Dad, I can't marry a bald man. Can't you have a better spouse? I won't accept it.
The king listened, and consoled his son by saying, even though he is bald, but he's a good person. The daughter was very angry, so she fled outside the temple. The poor man followed him, and told him the truth. Actually, he wasn't bald, but he had to pretend to shave. And then planned to fight with that prince until he won. He did everything because he didn't want the king to lose the bet. Otherwise, the king would lose face and lose gold for nothing. The daughter listened, and felt more sympathy for the prince.
I'm sorry, I misjudged you. But in 2 months, we'd better meet again. Let's wait for your hair to grow longer first. Can we wait?
As the princess said, Prince Dok thought that if his hair were longer, it wouldn't be so ugly. So I agreed to do that. 2 months passed. A handsome young man named Chow Dok. He appeared with a handsome, sharp face. The daughter saw this and became embarrassed. This handsome young man, truly handsome, was not like the bald young man from 2 months ago. And the daughter's face turned red, with embarrassment, because she knew that he had come to demand a promise.
Princess, I have come to reclaim a promise from 2 months ago. What do you say?
Before the daughter could answer, the king's voice spoke from behind.
What will he say? I saw him sitting and counting on his fingers, waiting to see when it would be 2 months.
That made his daughter even more embarrassed. He covered his face, ran into the bedroom, and closed the door silently. Then, Chow Dok was proclaimed Prince Poradok, and married a beautiful princess. Rule the city of Nakhon Thawarat happily forever.